Hey guys, Eric with Rockin' H Farm Toys, and I got a quick tutorial for you on paint. I get some questions from time to time asking Eric what do you use for paint, and here's kind of my methodology when I'm spraying stuff for myself and for customers or clients, and so hopefully you get some value out of this. Let's start with primer. I still go old school and I'll use this cheaper primer. It really depends on what I'm doing. If it's a 3D product, I use this primer because I'm going to put a ton of this on that model before I can go ahead and paint it. And occasionally I'll still use this on die cast, just depends on what it is I'm using. Now if I'm rebuilding a client truck or doing something that's really going to look fantastic at the end, I ratchet up the primer and I use this self-etching primer I buy at the auto parts store. You know, the foundation is really what makes the paint job look fantastic, and this stuff here is where I go when I know this is going to sit on a shelf for years and years and be someone's memory for a lifetime. If it's just a model that's not very valuable, or maybe it's one for myself, I'll cheat up and I'll use just the knockoff primer just because it's habit, it's cheap and easy to use, and it still turns out okay. This stuff here will run about 10 bucks a can at the auto parts store. You can buy this for $5 at any hardware store. Switching over to paint, I still use old Krylon paint. This is actually fusion paint used for plastics, but I'll use it for die cast and different things that I'm doing for myself primarily. And I have it on hand, don't want to throw it away, so guess what? I've got an S-Series international truck I'm shooting with this color right now. It'll have a 3D printed bed, die cast cab, and it's all going to be this color. So it goes on really easy. It looks good. Probably it's not as high quality as some of the other stuff I'm going to show you in a minute. Next, if you're doing a farm implement or something like that, obviously you want to go with a farm color paint. And this is a decent paint. It's just your garden variety. Farm implement paint, nothing special. It usually goes on really heavy. This is a thick paint compared to some of the others that I've showed you and then what I'm going to show you. This is a really thick paint. Goes on heavy. Spray pattern's alright. Again, not as quiet. It doesn't have the nice finish that some of the others will have, but then again, this isn't a high quality paint. This is, you know, used to spray something you scratched up on the farm. I mean, that's what it's for. And then, of course, you can buy just a little bit better paint out of John Deere. This is John Deere yellow. This is John Deere green, by the way. And again, really goes on really thick. Works okay. It's not a bad paint, but I'm not going to paint too many high-end trucks or models with this stuff unless it's the only game in town. So there you go. Decent paint, but you know, depending on what you're using it for, be careful. Next, go to Hobby Lobby or any hobby store, and Model Masters is a great paint for the money. About $6–7 a can. This is GM Fathom Green. I'm using this on another S-Series truck, grain bed and cab, and just a great paint. Goes on really smooth, shiny. You can clear it, and it just pops and sparkles really well. Great paint for the money, and you can't go wrong. Now, if you're matching a truck, say you got a paint coat or something, the next step up, in my opinion, is the Duplicolor, whatever, the Perfect Match paint. Man, this stuff is really slick, tons and tons of colors. You can generally match it up to whatever it is you're spraying if you're going for an exact match. Just a fantastic paint. Again, $6–7 a can. It's freaking amazing paint. Really pops and clears well, goes on well. Never bought a bad can of this stuff. Works really nice. Now, if you're going for an exact match on paint, here you go. If you can go to a Napa Auto Parts store, you can, with a paint code, you can get the exact color put in an aerosol can. This is competition yellow. It's a GM color, and this is a Freightliner color, which is black cherry metallic. Beautiful paints. These are always just really, really nice paints, especially the metallics are just amazing colors when you shoot them. This is a beautiful color. I've used a lot of this kind of paint, and it's amazing. Not cheapest game in town. You're going to spend $15 to upwards of $40 a can for some of this stuff. I'm generally paying $25 a can for these different colors that are mixed. One, I guess, caveat to this, something to be aware of is sometimes these paints, depending on the nozzle, will spray kind of strange. So you do want to test shoot on cardboard or something that you don't care about. Make sure you get the spray pattern right, and that you don't, screw it up by applying it without having tested it first, and then have to strip down your model and redo it. A lot of wasted time there. So do test this on cardboard or something, and then shoot it on your model. Make sure you get it right and the spray pattern's perfect. So the finale on this tutorial is clear coat. Now, I was using some cheap clear coat. I upgraded to this Duplicolor clear coat. It works really well, goes on nice, really makes your colors pop. About 10 bucks a can. Not the cheapest clear coat in town, but this is a really nice paint that works, or clear coat that works really well. The only problem I've had is when I've shot this, when it's really hot outside, I don't have a controlled temperature area to paint, so I paint whenever I can and then run it in the house where it is ambient temperature. I'll get a little fog on the model, and that scared me at first, but it seems to go away over an hour or so. The fog, it'll just look like a fog on your model in different places, and it might be I'm putting it on too heavy. It could be the temperature affecting it. I'm not certain exactly what the cause is, but I do know it fades away over time. But this stuff really makes my models stand out and look freaking cool. So there you go on paints. You got a whole garden variety of paints that you can choose from. Remember, the quality of your primer and your paint is going to dictate just how cool your model is going to turn out. You can still get some really fine finishes with cheaper paints, but again, if you really want to up your game, spend a little more money and go high end, and you won't regret it. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Leave a comment or a question, because I'd love to hear what you have to think about this video. So leave a comment and share it with your friends. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next time.